Hello, everybody. It's Miss Abby. I thought I would do a quick little video on sequencing for those of you that might need help during this NTI day. I hope everybody's enjoying the snow, and I hope everybody's staying healthy and warm as well. I am. I have enjoyed a lot of hot chocolates, and I have absolutely loved looking at your math that you've been doing at home and seeing all the awesome books that you have been reading. Now on to sequencing. So I have made a little sheet that kind of shows what are some common sequencing words. So feel free to pause the video whenever I show the sheet so that you can write some of these down and be aware and use it to help you when you're doing your work today. So here it is. And I'm going to peek around the edge to make sure that I read it right. So these are the big keywords. First, next, then, last. Some words that go along with first are, I'm hoping you can still see this. Some words that go along with first are in the beginning. That might be another way to say first. Once upon a time, like our fairy tales. And then also one day. After first, often in third grade text, you'll see next. Some common words that go along with next are secondly, later, suddenly, or the next day. First, next, then. Then is our next keyword. And when you have then, you have words like after that. Whoops. After a while. Meanwhile. Those are words that go along with then. And then finally, which is a word that goes along with this, is last. So you got first, next, then, last. Some words that go along with last are finally, at the end, and lastly. So I'm going to read you a short story and see if you can hear the transition sequencing words. See if you can figure it out. Okay, here we go. So this is about a boy named Tim. Okay. First, Tim wanted to be an astronaut and walk on the moon. Next, he worked very hard and built his own rocket. Then, Tim finished his rocket and flew to the moon. Last, he landed safely and made lots of new friends. If you want, you can rewind this and write down the words and pause along the way. I made sure to read 4 sequencing words. Did you catch them? Good. They were first, next, then, and last. So they were the big 4 words on the side here. Now you can use these words to help you ask sequencing type questions. For example, someone might ask, what did Tim do after he finished his rocket? Well, if you look back at the story, you can go to when he finished his rocket. It said, then he finished his rocket and flew to the moon. So it would be flew to the moon would be what he did after he finished his rocket. They might ask a question that says, what did Tim do before he finished his rocket? Then you would go to the sentence that said, then he finished his rocket, and go right back up before it and look for that sequencing word, which was next. Next, he worked very hard and built his own rocket. That's what he did before he finished his rocket, was worked very hard to finish his rocket. Let's do one more story, but I'm going to try to put it up here on the screen for you all. I tried this earlier. I tested it out and it worked. We'll see. It's on my phone. Okay. Hoping you can see that. You can pause it so you can read it. I'll read it here in just a second. Okay. It says, one morning I heard a strange noise. Sorry, I'm getting a text from someone else. Give me just a second. One morning I heard a strange noise outside my window. At 9 o'clock, I heard it again. Later that afternoon, I found footprints in the garden. That evening, I saw a bear in our yard. Have you found the sequencing words here? First, you have one morning. Then you have a time, which is 9 o'clock. See if I can make it big again. Then you have later that evening. Or later that afternoon, sorry. And then that evening afterwards. So these are more time words. So if it asked you what happened first, you would go to where it says one morning. And you would say what happened first was, I heard a strange noise. If it asks you what happened last, you would go down to where it says that evening, which were when they saw a bear in their yard. Some other common sequencing words might be when it tells you time, like it did here of 9 o'clock. Months, years, days of the week are big clues as well. The main thing is to find your sequencing words. Look at what the question's asking you. If the question's asking you what happened before something, find that sentence in the story and look, what is the sentence right before it? I hope this helps a little bit. Please reach out to me on Dojo if you have any more questions. I love you and have a great Thursday.